Welcome back to Let's Play Command&Conquer Red Alert, and we're still onto the 12th mission of the Flame Dancers campaign. Some of these missions really are getting hairy.
Acknowledged. At once. Of course. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Waiting orders. Acknowledged. At once. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
We got these two.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
I think this outpost served me very well.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Quite a few enemy tanks have splashed against the defenses here.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Affirmative.
I need to remember that leaving those two radar domes alive.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
You are screwed.
Affirmative.
Building.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
More helicopters left?
Affirmative.
Insufficient
Acknowledged.
funds.
Acknowledged.
Unit
Acknowledged.
ready.
Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
This seems to be only an outpost. That were the commanders. I think we only need to... Well, no, it also said destroy all military buildings here. And they seem to be quite angry now. They got quite a lot of units still.
Unit ready.
Are they saving these for bad times or what?
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. 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 Affirmative.
Let's remove these guns from the battlefield.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
One by one.
Affirmative. 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 Yes, sir. Affirmative. Of course. Agreed. Yes, sir.
Unit
Of
lost.
course. Agreed. Yes, sir. Very well. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Alright.
Vehicle report. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Building. Repair.
Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit prepared.
Let's get this base,
Vehicle.
Unit prepared.
as we definitely need that ore field.
Unit ready.
Reporting. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Reporting. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Another ranger.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Yes, affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Okay.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Get this pillbox.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Building.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Comrade. Acknowledged.
And the next one.
Waiting order. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Yes, sir.
Insufficient funds.
Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Waiting. Affirmative.
Okay, save, and this should be a good time to bring the imposters in.
Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
They should be
Vehicle
counting as
acknowledged.
spies.
Waiting acknowledged. Affirmative.
They should be secure as there are no more dogs in the area.
Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Reporting. Acknowledged. Reporting. Affirmative.
It's quite a large ore field.
Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Waiting order. Acknowledged. 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 Acknowledged.
I think the distances are roughly the same by now.
Building.
Comrade. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Waiting order.
You guys could need some repairs.
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Unit ready.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Okay. Get home, get yourself fixed up.
Awaiting orders. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
Keep on scouting.
Waiting order. Vehicle report. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
That was another MiG.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. 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 Ready and waiting. At once. At once.
Let's save just in case
Mission saved.
I make a mistake here.
Affirmative.
Building infiltrated. Building infiltrated. Second
Good.
objective next.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
That's done.
Reporting. Affirmative. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. 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 Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
So let's scout the rest of the map.
Reporting. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit
See if
prepared.
there are any more hidden
Acknowledged.
outposts up here.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Doesn't
Affirmative.
seem like it,
Acknowledged.
Unit prepared.
Affirmative.
but better safe than sorry.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Preparing.
Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Awaiting orders. Affirmative.
And what we got here?
Affirmative. Acknowledged.
Get another
Unit
helicopter.
prepared.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Building. Preparing.
They even got a harvester? But don't make any more big attacks. Okay.
Yes,
Unit
sir.
ready. Unit
Yes,
prepared.
sir. Awaiting
Preparing.
orders. Yes, sir. Reporting.
Unit prepared.
Awaiting orders. Yes, sir. Vehicle report. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
You can go back.
Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Comrade.
Building.
Acknowledged.
These MiGs are really
Vehicle
getting on my
reporting.
nerves.
Awaiting orders. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Yes,
Alright.
sir. Acknowledged.
We building stuff.
Reporting. Comrade. Awaiting orders. Vehicle reporting. Yes, sir. Comrade. Yes, sir. Vehicle reporting.
I cannot allow that, my friends.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Agreed.
Building.
Let's get
Insufficient
another ore
funds.
truck. These distances are way too much.
Waiting order. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledge.
Our base is under attack.
Yes, sir. Agreed. Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Waiting very well.
That's also not very good.
Yes, acknowledge. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Acknowledge.
Let's try and finish this.
Comrade. Affirmative. Acknowledge. 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 Waiting order. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative. No problem. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Mission saved.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
First step, destroy that harvester and lure out any more
Yes, affirmative. Affirmative.
units
Acknowledged.
Insufficient
like
funds.
that helicopter.
Affirmative. Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir.
I think he's chasing one of these things.
Report. Affirmative. Vehicle report. Yes, sir. Affirmative. 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 Acknowledged.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Report. Affirmative. Vehicle report.
Doesn't seem like they've got any more left.
Comrade. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
So
Affirmative.
let's go in.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Repair.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Don't want that bridge to be destroyed.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Insufficient
I think there should be a second entrance, but
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Vehicle report.
just in case.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I think up this way.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Rid
Acknowledged.
of the war factory, no more rangers.
Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged.
No more airfields and mix.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Affirmative. Affirmative.
It's a construction yard.
Acknowledged. 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 Affirmative.
Good.
Affirmative.
Unit
Affirmative.
lost.
Affirmative. Report affirmative.
Unit ready.
Waiting order. Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Yes, sir.
Of course, I rebuilt that in the last moments.
Acknowledge. 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 Affirmative. Affirmative. Acknowledge.
But we can flame it down.
Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative. Acknowledge. Affirmative.
They sail everything. Shoot the last man up.
Mission accomplished.
And finally. Whoa. That was quite the mission. That start. These masses of tanks, the destroyers and that battle cruiser constantly shooting. Also not much ore in our starting area. Ugh. But we finally made it. So, next time, mission number 13. Until then, have a nice day.